Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I hope you can see and hear me. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Hope you're well. We are well. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. Today's time is different than usual. I usually do this or had been doing this at 9 a.m. Saturday Eastern, and put out a little poll, and several of you responded. So thank you very much. And the question was keep it at 9, 11, which is when I did it way long ago, or 10 o'clock is a good compromise, or it doesn't matter because I always watch it on replay anyway. So more people said they watch it on replay. And then after that, the next highest was 10 o'clock is a good compromise. So hello, here we are. Um, I'm doing something a little different today, and I would also appreciate any feedback about it. I'm, you know, the most challenging thing for me sometimes for my Saturday live streams is to come up with a topic. And with my patrons, I have a private Patreon support group. I do weekday videos for them. And very often they have suggested the topics, which makes it a lot easier because I think this week will be my 1400 snippet for Patreon. So I do get comments and questions. I get emails, and I'm honored, privileged, and humbled by the amount of correspondence I receive, either through YouTube or my blog or what have you. And so I thought I'm gonna call some of these out, and they seem like good topics. So from the keto inbox, as it were, the Go Keto with Casey inbox, here's a topic from this is verbatim written by someone who wrote to me. And so if you can bear with me, and by the way, if you're new here, I will do my little stuff here for about the first half, and then the second half, I like to turn my attention to comments and questions that people are posting here in the chat. So thank you, and bear with me while I do this. Putting on my glasses. The the comment writes, and I wish I could share the screen and show it to you, but I can't do that live. From Cynthia. Hi, I'm new to your channel and I'm so happy that I came to find you. Well, thank you. My keto journey started a couple of years ago and it started out really well, but I fell off and, of course, gained weight back. I've been trying to get my act together for the last 2 months and man, oh man, it's really been a struggle. I struggle with consistency and staying away from sweets. It seems that I have no willpower. I get through a few days and fall off. How did you stay on track? What is the secret to blocking out the cravings? I can sail through the day in intermittent fast, but in the evening, the urge comes and the overwhelming sense to cheat comes. How do I curb this behavior? Thank you, Cynthia. I chose this one because I think this probably will ring true with a lot of people. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the major themes being, I was doing great and then I stopped doing it and I gained the weight back. I do well and then I cave. Those are kind of the themes. And then the questions posed were, how do you block the cravings? How do you stay? Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. I don't want to misquote. Um, how did you stay on track? Question is to me. And what is the secret to blocking cravings? And how do I curb this behavior? So, for those of you who don't know, you can go to my blog, link below. It's just caseydurango.com, and see photos from before I lost weight. They're not my heaviest, not photos from my heaviest, which don't exist. But I was very large and I'm short. So, 100 pounds on a 5 foot 1 inch frame is a lot of weight. And I didn't get to be that large by not having the same kind of internal monologue or dialogue. I don't know whether there were two people in there talking to me or a monologue, just me talking to myself, as kind of is evidenced in this comment and series of questions. I would tell myself I have no willpower. And I would say, ooh, I have a craving. I have a craving for tortilla chips. Let's go to our favorite Mexican restaurant. Those those 2 things, I wanna break them down. I think we need to stop using some words. For one thing, forget about willpower. I am the least willpower person there is, honestly. I am not particularly disciplined. Use tools. I employ tools for myself to how to keep me more disciplined. I have a habit tracker. It's a spreadsheet, and I do all these things. But we've been told that if we're overweight, it was just a lack of willpower. If you wanted it badly enough, you do it. Well, heck with that. I don't know of one morbidly obese person who doesn't feel like they don't want to lose weight enough. It's not about willpower. The food manufacturers want to put it on that because then they can keep selling you food and saying, well, if you keep eating our food, it's because you have no willpower. No, it's because it's a lot of it is the perfect combination of sugar and fat. Think Dunkin' Donut or Krispy Kreme, which was born right here where I live, not in this room. Um, and it's delicious and we love it and we want more of it. Now, that is not to say that we can't stop eating the Krispy Kremes and the tortilla chips and the pizza and the pretzels and the ice cream. So the last question in that comment was, how do I curb this behavior? I think this is key to me. Recognize that it is behavior. I was talking about this with my lovely mate as I was thinking about what to do, and I read it out loud, and he immediately said, well, the answer lies in that question. It's behavior. And fortunately, it's one of the few things in our life that over which we have control. Remember that putting food in one's mouth is not an involuntary reflex, although we'd like to joke about it and say that it is, but we need to quit joking about it like that. It's not cute, and it's not true. I used to joke about it, foods were like my mouth was magnetized and the food would just leap in. Or I joke that M&Ms are medicinal. They're even in pill form, pill shape. Or that if you break a cookie in half, all the calories fall out, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not funny. But behavior, the way you curb the behavior is to stop the behavior. It sounds elementary, and it may sound a little harsh, and again, I did not get morbidly obese and kind of miserable in my brain without making excuses. And in my case, they were excuses. They were not explanations. Of course, I could have stopped eating the tortilla chips as much as I love them. And I did stop eating them. I would tell myself, I can't go the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. I would say it, those words. And I couldn't until I did. So, first of all, the behavior, and very often feelings follow behavior. When I stopped eating tortilla chips, which I loved, I stopped wanting them or thinking about them. I also suggest that we don't use the word craving anymore. A craving, it's not a scientific state of being. It's an excuse to eat the food we want to eat. So don't call it a craving, just say, I want to eat it. And then ask yourself, I want to eat it, but should I? Again, food manufacturers, food advertisers, and I have to look to see because my screen just blinked. I assume you guys can see and hear me. I usually try to ask that first, and Scott usually lets me know. Food manufacturers, food advertisers, they love that word. Come to Taco Bell for your midnight cravings. Now, do we think that's good behavior? Do we think that's something that we should be doing? Nope, not hating on Taco Bell. If you can eat Taco Bell, including the tacos, and be healthy and happy, fantastic. I can't. I can eat them. I can and I may, but I'm going to feel gross. And I don't want to feel gross anymore. I lived long enough feeling gross. So let's not call them cravings. Let's call them for what they are. It's food you want to eat. And then realize that it's not a medical emergency. It's not a life emergency. It is just something you want to do. So take out the word food in reference to cravings and plug in some other thing, some other behavior. Maybe that somebody you care about uses, well, I had a craving for it, and that's why I did that thing. And see if there's a behavior that you would say, wait a minute, you had a craving? If someone's screwing around on their partner and they get caught, they say, why did you do that? Well, I had a real craving for it. What? What do you mean you gambled away the title to the car? Well, I had a real craving to play that hand of poker. What? But we use it for food because we want to eat the food. And that's okay with that. It's understandable. We've been eating food all of our lives. So let's stop calling it cravings and realize that willpower, if and here's the I'm sorry, I usually give a little description of the ketogenic protocol as I learned it and as I have practiced it for now over 9 years. Keep your carbs to 20 grams or fewer. Limit them to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs just means more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't need a food list. It's just fatty sources of protein and then limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables and limited amounts of full-fat dairy if you can tolerate them. But the key thing is, don't eat if you're not hungry. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And then enjoy the feeling of satiety when you've eaten. Just enjoy, oh man, I've eaten enough. Yay. And don't eat more. Be patient and persevere. I added those last 2. So when you reduce your carbohydrate intake sufficiently, your liver stops pumping out glucose, sugar, for fuel. And when that happens, our bodies happily and instantly turn around to burning fat or ketone bodies for fuel. It's a wonderful, elegant design. And one of the good things about burning fat for fuel is that it suppresses appetite. Your hunger goes away, your appetite goes away. Then we just have to work on the behavior of not eating out of habit. Don't eat if you're not hungry, no matter what the clock says. No matter what the clock says. And the reference in the comment to so-called intermittent fasting, that's not something that I practice or ever have practiced. And frankly, uh, it would be counterproductive for me because if I arbitrarily didn't eat when I'm actually legit hungry because, oh, it's not time yet, I have to, my feeding window is not open yet, then all I would do would be thinking about food and then I would overshoot and I'd eat too much because now I'm like, oh, I want the food. But do what works for you. But if we start burning fat for fuel, our hunger is suppressed, our appetite is suppressed. It's very nutrient dense, so don't worry that "Oh, I'm not eating enough." Just our body knows what to do. We just need to get out of the way. And when you look back and say, "Oh, alrighty, hey, guess what? It's it's Monday and I didn't go off the rails over the weekend. Yay!" Try not to say for the rest of my life, I'm going to do this. From the 12-step programs, just tell yourself, hey, listen, tomorrow I might have the pretzels, but I'm not having them today, whatever the food might be. Maybe, maybe will in an hour, but I'm not going to right now. Build up. And then when you start to feel triumphant, you want more of that. And there is I don't know whether it's a cliche. It's not a cliche. There is the thought that habits, if you do a behavior for 21 days in a row, 21 days in a row, on the 22nd day, it becomes uncomfortable not to do that behavior. If you've gotten in the habit of, okay, something as simple as I make my bed as soon as I get up. Not everyone does, but you say, I'm going to start making my bed as soon as I get up. And then for 21 days, you make your bed. That's it. Day 22 comes around, you're probably not even going to think about it. You're going to make your bed. Thank you, darling. And it may be feel uncomfortable on day 22 if you don't make your bed. Maybe the same thing can be true for not doing something. If you don't indulge in whatever foods it is that are not serving you well for 21 days in a row, that's just 3 weeks. 21 days in a row, and take it one day. Don't say 21 days in a row. Just like, I'm going to take it today. And then now it's 20 days, and now it's 19 days, whatever. Perhaps it would feel weird to actually do that thing on day 22. I don't know. There are people out there more learned than I that can address that. Feelings follow behavior. Words matter. Let's not give ourselves little get out of jail free cards by saying, well, I had a craving. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, then you have a craving. You're probably going to just pass out then if you don't feed the craving. If you stop feeding cravings, it's like my cat Luna, my late great cat Luna, who was a stray kitten, showed up. I fed her. She didn't leave for 17 years. Cravings are like stray cats. If you don't want them coming back, don't feed them. And after a while, you'll realize I'm not even interested in tortilla chips. Somebody puts a basket of tortilla chips in front of me, I'm no more interested in them than a basket of gravel. Seriously. I'm not playing. I'm not making that up. You can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. So, that having been said, quick little diversion. I do want to remind you that you don't need to buy one product at all, no special food to be 100% successful at this protocol. No supplements or powders or potions or sprays, or certainly no food products that say keto on the label, because they're not. But I will happily sell you water bottles and mugs, lay off the carbs, lay off the excuses. Link below to I hope it's there. YouTube has changed up their thing a little bit, so I hope the thing is there. Link to my spread shop is down there. And Go Keto with Casey's 12-month record book, which if you go to my blog, you'll see it in the sidebar. You can get that at Amazon. And thank you to the people who do purchase these things. I'm just trying to earn my keep around here, and it really gives me a thrill. I don't know who you are because I never know who does the buying, but I really appreciate the caps and the T-shirts and the teddy bears and the mugs and all that stickers. Thank you. I also want to thank my patrons, some of whom are here. I have a private support group on patreon.com, link below, where for $10 a month, you get morning snippets from me and a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast. $10 a month. Thank you. Now, and thank you for the thumbs up also, by the way. And I haven't seen any today. Maybe I've missed them, or maybe there haven't been any. The little hearty things that you can do, the floaty hearts, like YouTube started about a month ago, I think. So thank you. It actually really does help my channel, the thumbs up. So thanks. Now, I'm going to turn my attention to the attendees. And I just jump in with what I can see. Judy Porterfield, good morning. Thank you for the heart. Nothing like asking for love, eh? Norques Peladeriquez, blessings for you and your family. And I just annihilated your name, but thank you for that. Shayla Johnson, see and hear you fine. Thank you, Kara Z. Each time you ignore a craving, it helps lessen it over time. Absolutely. I like Casey's reminder that you don't have to give in to a craving. Absolutely not. And please, the food manufacturers know about all this stuff. They play to it. Have you ever seen a scene in a commercial or a movie or a sitcom where there's a person who's brokenhearted, could be a man or a woman, it's usually a woman, who doesn't turn to ice cream because their heart is broken? So I guess the ice cream is supposed to really mend a broken heart. It doesn't. Norca writes, you are a blessing. Thank you. Judy Dullish, hi there. Distractions are how I get past it. Go clean something or go for a good walk. It works for me. Excellent. Do some jumping jacks. Stare vacantly out a window, anything. Just, we can control the behavior, but we tell ourselves we can't. And frankly, some medical professionals say, well, you won't be able to stick with it, or you can't, or the food is irresistible. It's made to be, no one can resist it. I actually read that, a medical thing. The food cannot be resisted. What, really? If I said, here's $75,000 cash, tax-free, don't eat that food, I bet we could all resist it. Magic Mia, biggest issue for me is eating all day. I'm very low carb, just overeating when I know I'm not hungry. Mia, that is continues to be the greatest challenge for me. And I've been doing this for over 9 years. Not eating if not hungry. Remember, if hunger's not the problem, food is not the solution. But and again, it's behavior. We we built the behaviors. We built the habits of eating 3 times a day, 2 snacks. As soon as we get in from work, we throw our, kick our shoes off and go and grab something to eat. Whether we do it mindlessly. Mindless eating is a big problem. Cara Z writes, Magic Mia, my issue is overeating the right foods too. I haven't reduced food intake to go along with the lower body weight. I eat much, much, much less food than I did a year ago. Well, I eat less food than I did a year ago. I eat much less food than I did 5 years ago. And forget about when I first started. I was not like a kid in a candy store. I was like a kid in a ranch dressing and bacon store when I first started. I ate all the meat and the sour cream and the butter and the ranch dressing and the chicken with the skin. So good. But I'm older for one thing, and I'm smaller, and my stage of life, and all the other things that go into what our body requires. And it's not the same for me every day. My energy level can be different. My interest in food, my hunger can be different. Sometimes I'm actually hungry, but I don't feel like eating. I mean, it's bizarre, but it's different. And I just get used to listening. Doris Komisarek. And Doris, thank you for the cards you send me. I really appreciate it. Very helpful, Casey, keeping me on keto. Jackie Starling, thanks for the encouragement. We all need to remember this is doable. It is. If I can do this, you can do this. Our weekly video Bible study. Hey, Scott, another Patreon card or calendar page for the future. Cravings are like stray cats. As long as you feed them, they never go away. With a graphic of a cat in the corner. Thank you, Scott. Scott suggested another thing I do, I don't mention this often, for patrons at a certain pledge level, I design and send out cards once a quarter or so. And I write notes on the back, and I enjoy hand addressing all of them. So thank you. And that's a good one. I will remember it. Heidi Crane writes, trying to send hearts but can't find how to do it. So here they are. Well, thank you very much. Bonnie, finally caught alive. Good morning. Oh, by the way, does anyone have any thoughts about this being at 10 instead of 9? Anybody care? I would like some feedback on whether you like, using someone's question or comment as a jumping off point. I think the thing about this is I read comments and questions. We are all much more alike in these efforts than we are different. Obviously, we all have unique families and histories, but the challenges are nearly universal when it comes to this. If you're someone who has had weight issues or an unhealthy relationship with food over the years, and frankly, the people that are hearing me, generally that's the case. Oh, by the way, T-shirt. This is not a new one, but I went keto with Casey. And then there's an avocado. I got one for my husband because he did go keto with Casey. Literally. Cara Z writes, I was just reminded of a behavior change. I no longer have to eat as soon as I walk in the door. Great. Jackie Starling, new time works great for me. Good. 10 works, writes Judy. Christina, love it at 10. Finally caught alive. And Kathy Barnotes, 10 works for me. Denise Anderson, like the new time slot. And Magic Mia, do you believe you must be in ketosis to lose weight? No. People can lose weight a lot of ways. And you can be in ketosis and not lose weight. This morning, I weighed exactly the same as I did January 1st. And exactly the same as I did last Saturday. Uh-oh, low battery. And I'm in ketosis. I've not been out of ketosis, to my knowledge, at all, ever. Sometimes, and by the way, the so-called level of ketosis, if you're taking a reading, th I use a Keto Mojo, and which is blood is still the gold standard for measuring, ketone bodies. Last time the time before I checked this morning, and I don't check all the time, and I'm checking less and less, was 3.4. This morning, it was point 0.9. Both of those are fine. When I'm at 3.4, it's not like I'm losing weight. I'm just burning fat for fuel. So, yes, you can be in ketosis and not lose weight. You can lose weight without being in ketosis. Judy Porterfield, I've noticed a huge difference with my craving/appetite now that I'm doing 0 to 20 carbs. I love 10 a.m. as 9 was doing AM chores mostly. Great. Linda Bridges liked the 10 a.m. Scott likes 10 a.m. Rose likes new time is good. And I like 10. Yay. Good feedback. Thank you, guys. Um, we get hung up on a lot of things. I knew in 1977, I was in college, that low carb worked for me. It was Atkins. I'd put on about 12 or 13 pounds by my second year of college. And so I got a copy of the Atkins Diet Revolution, did the induction part, lost the weight, lost the book. I mean, okay, thanks. And then but I was 19 years old. And so, I was already pretty cute and young. And then I was still cute and young in my 20s. And then I was so cute that I got my husband. And then almost immediately we had 2 children. And with the second of the 3 pregnancies, I put on a lot of weight. That was in my mid-20s. And I just was heavy from that time on, from my mid-20s to my mid-30s. My point being, and then but in 1977, I didn't know what ketosis was. Well, I guess I read the book, but I don't even know if he called it ketosis. And I didn't have anything to measure, and I didn't know, I didn't care. I lost the weight. I wasn't focused on being in ketosis or what my level of ketosis was. It's like pregnancy. You either are or you aren't. Someone will come out with a very simple test that reads ketone bodies, whether it's acetoacetate, which is urine, beta hydroxybutyrate, which is blood, or acetone, which is breath. And it'll either just say yes or no. Don't worry about the level. Rose Haygood, here's hearts. Thank you. I appreciate the hearts. And I appreciate the thumbs up. I never really thought about it before. And it feels kind of weird to ask people to give you a thumbs up. But that's nice. Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, as my dad used to say. Doesn't hurt. Right, friends. Any closing comments, questions, observations? Oh, my pink drink. Thank you, honey. Every time I don't mention my drink, someone says, "What are you drinking?" Hashtag Casey's pink drink. Tumbler, full of ice. Very high in diet, a lot of diet tonic water, a splash of diet cranberry, and a squeeze of lime. There you go. There you go. Buster Sugar Annie, like 10 a.m. Peggy, I'm doing great till around 3, then struggling. You know what? 3 o'clock is the witching hour for me. That's interesting you say that. I don't know whether it goes back to, I don't know what it is, but if I can get through 3 o'clock, even though, I'd like to eat something, but I'm not hungry. Oh, I'd really like to eat something. And I try to avoid having intrusive thoughts of food, but I do. I'm human. But if I can get past 3, cool breeze. Just so that's a really great thing to look at, Peggy, is get past 3. Do it 21 times in a row. And then you're like, whoever thought 3 o'clock was the thing? It's not a daily chore for me, 3 o'clock. But I just recognize that when I start, okay, 3 o'clock for some reason. Judy Porterfield, yay, sardines. Stephanie and Joshy, any experience with dry fasting? No, that's not good. No, I wouldn't do that. We can go a long time without food, but not drinking water? No es bueno. No, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not gonna go without food either. I mean, after about 24 hours, if you have eaten, if you're not eating anything, you're not eating some fat and protein, those are essential macronutrients, fat and protein. Carbohydrate is not, because fat and protein contain the amino acids that our bodies can't make, but need for cell regeneration, growth, cell repair, functioning of the cells. So if we're not eating it, if we're not getting the amino acids by mouth, our bodies will start cannibalizing our lean tissue. Do what works for you, but going without water, no. Love the 10 a.m. Hey, Kathy. Cindy C writes, loving today's content, but find myself extremely curious about the books. National Geographic, love classics and history. What's lined your shelf? A little bit of everything. I've got everything from an original To Kill a Mockingbird, to leather-bound Moby Dicks, to National Geographics, to David Sedaris, to The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living. I highly recommend. I have actually my blog. I used to have What I'm Reading. I think I took that off, though. I could re-up it. What I'm reading, what's on my bookshelves. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, okay. Judy Porterfield. Yep, 3 p.m. is the time. I've been doing a beef broth with an egg drop soup, and it gets me through. Excellent suggestion. Okay, guys, keep it real. Be sweet. Just don't eat sweets. And try to not tell yourself what you can't do or what you've never done or what your failings are. There's enough people who will point out our failings. Believe me, I know. But let's not be cute making excuses for eating the foods that we know do not serve us well. And if I can do this, you can do this. I promise. Using listener comments and questions is a great idea. Thanks, Scott. Misty's House of Tarot Cards. Thank you, Casey. Take care all. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Adieu. See you later, alligator. And toodaloo, caribou.